Dear students, welcome to the course Science of Consciousness in Ancient India, and this is lecture 30. Now we are going to discuss this cognitive cycle because ultimately after the end of each of the darshan का मतलब ही है cognition. So the cognitive process or cognitive cycle is explained after each of the darshan. And we started from the Sankhya Yoga, and then after Sankhya, I am continuously explaining you this cognitive cycle or the process of cognition as per the reference of each of the darshan. So the same process is going to repeat again, and we will find what are the differences in this cycle from the previous ones also. So you see, the first point is saying, as per Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, in the entire cognitive process, the energy or the chitti, the technical term here which is used to identify this intelligible energy is chitti. Chitti swatantra vishwa siddhi hetu svekshaya subhitto vishwam unmilyati, means chitti is that power of pure consciousness which is absolutely free, and she opens up the whole of the cosmos at her own will, at her own surface. And once this chitti descends undergoing limitation, it becomes a chitta. So here chitta is nothing but the chitti, but chitti in a limited form. So chitti with all the limitations is becoming chitta. That's the basic difference between the yoga and the Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. In yoga, chitta is a trigunic in nature, and that's why it is different from the chitta of the Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. Here chitta is nothing but the limited chitti. And in Yoga Darshan, chitti is chitti shakti aparinamini apratisankrama darshita vishaya shuddha cha ananta cha. It is considered to be equivalent with the pure consciousness. And now here in Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, chitti is described as absolutely free, having which is the root cause of creation, and opens up the whole of the cosmos at her own will, at her own surface. So basically there is a difference between the definitions also in the Yoga Darshan and in Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. The concept of Antahakaran, this is very important. Antahakaran Chatushtay is also a part of Vedanta Darshan. So you see, Antahakaran Chatushtay becomes like Antaha and then Karan. This is Karan. Antaha means inner, inside, and Karan is a kind of instrument, apparatus. So inside instrument or internal apparatus is understood as Antahakaran. Now the third word is Chatushtaya. Chatushtaya means group of four. So group of four, Chatushtaya. This inner cognitive apparatus or internal cognitive apparatus has four constituents. चार चीज़ें हैं इसके अंदर. क्या क्या है? These four constituents are that known as chitta. So you can write two things to describe this chitta in Kashmir Shaiva Darshan or as per Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. First, it is nothing but chitti which has gone or who has gone under limitation. So चित्ती ही चित्त बन गई है, लेकिन कब? जब वो अड़ित्व में आ गई, मतलब लिमिटेड हो गई. दूसरा तरीका इसको बताने का, चित्त इज नथिंग बट इंटरनल कॉग्निटिव apparatus having four things inside of it, and these four things are buddhi, manas, ahankar. Buddhi, manas, ahankar. So chitta is incorporating buddhi, manas, ahankar. So four means chitta is considered to be the fourth one. This whole becomes the apparatus, the internal cognitive apparatus. So if you are being asked to write down a short note about Antahakaran Chatushtaya, so this would be like chitta plus buddhi, manas, ahankar. Four things together become Antahakaran Chatushtaya. This is the concept. Now you see, if you try to understand the same thing as per Vedanta Darshan, that is also dealing with this Antahakaran Chatushtaya, and the same concept was applied there also, buddhi, manas, ahankar and chitta. But the only difference was that chitta was not considered to be the modified or you can say limited chitti. That is the basic difference between Vedanta and Kashmir Shaiv Darshan. So here you see, if we are being going to discuss, if you are being asked in the examinations, or we are discussing the internal cognitive apparatus, that is understood as Antahakaran Chatushtay, this one, internal cognitive apparatus, and it is having 4 things inside of it, that is Chitta, Buddhi, Manas, Ahankar. Chitt is what? Delimited Chitti. Buddhi is what? Nishchayatmika Buddhi. Manas is what? Sankalpa Vikalpatmaka Manaha. Ahankar is nothing but your dominant I-ness, which has undergone limitations. So here each of the constituent is nothing but a manifested form which has undergone limitation of the Chitti. For example, Buddhi is nothing but the delimited knowledge power. Manas is none but delimited action power, and Ahankar is none but your delimited Ichha Shakti, that is willpower. So delimited powers are becoming the part of Antahakaran Chatushtay, internal cognitive apparatus. So you consider that there is a highest level of consciousness, that is ultimate consciousness, pure consciousness, that is Param Shiv. Once the power of pure consciousness is undergoing limitations, it is becoming limited in the potentials, then it is becoming Chitta. So a limited individual, a bound individual is having the powers, but in a very limited way, and that is something which is like Manas, Buddhi, Ahankar and Chitta. So Chitta is a limitation of Chitti in totality. Then limitation of Ichha Shakti becomes Ahankar, limitation of Kriya Shakti becomes Manas, and limitation of Jnana Shakti becomes Buddhi. This is how this internal cognitive apparatus is being understood in Kashmir Shaiv Darshan, specifically in Kashmir Shaiv Darshan. And then you can see the third point is saying these 4 constituents, that is Chitta, Buddhi, Manas, Ahankar, they play major role in the cognitive cycle in Kashmir Shaiv Darshan, along with the senses, actions and corresponding organs also. So Panch Jnanendri, Panch Karmendri, and then the gross ones, that is composed of the Panch Bhut, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi, they all are playing a complete role, then the process of cognition is going to happen. So you see, we will just revise the same diagram 4.58 and in detail, so that we can understand the process again, which was studied in the Vedanta Darshan also, but what are the differences we will easily identify. See, the same process is happening once we are going to cognize some object outside, that is marked in the red color. Our consciousness is rushing out, that means our intelligible energy is rushing out. But see, you can see the word which I have mentioned, Chitti becomes the power of consciousness. Power of consciousness, you can see like it is becoming the power of Param Shiv. So here Chitti or Param Shiv is the original doer, which is unbound, but once it is undergoing limitations, it is becoming Chitta. So you consider this Chitti is the original doer, who is none but at the level of Param Shiv or pure consciousness, just like it was considered to be the part of Brahman in Vedanta Darshan. But here they are saying that Chitti is the original doer, instrumental consciousness, and that is the power of pure Param Shiva. Now this PS denoting Param Shiva. Then I-ness is relating it. I-ness is relating it. I-ness means Ichha Shakti. That Ichha Shakti becomes delimited, and it is available to delimited individuals as Ahankar. So Ahankar is responsible for relating our own existence with the external things, like my pen, my phone, my color, my dress. I relate everything which is available outside with me. So I-ness is the relating aspect. And after I-ness, you can see there is a Buddhi, that is limited Jnana Shakti, limited knowledge power, is your intellect or Buddhi. And after that we have this Manas, Ubhaya Indri, and then we have senses, sense organs, here actions, action organs, and here Panch Tanmatras. So the same process is happening. Our Chitti, which is none but Chit now. If you are going to discuss, we are now discussing this diagram at 2 levels. One is at the level of highest pure consciousness, that is non-delimited state, and second is delimited state, that means at the level of an individual, bound individual. So, first let us discuss it at the bound individual. When a bound individual is perceiving something, like right now I am in the grossest state of existence, that is in the Parthiv and I am able to see this pen as an external object. So, this is the red object, and what is happening? My delimited power, that is coming through my chitta. So, here in place of chitti it becomes a chitta, is coming through my I-ness, my ahankar, and then passing through my buddhi, going to the manas, and from the senses panch jnanendri it is coming to the panch gyan ang, and then the object is being recognized by me, and then my consciousness engulfs the object and takes all the attributes of the object, goes back inside. And the first stage I see this is something, in the second stage I know that oh this is pen. So, nirvikalp becomes a savikalp, and then the stimuli which is relating this object or describing this object, the attributes or the characteristics of this object is going back inside through the senses, sense organs, and then the senses are sending the stimuli to the manas to select the possible option available, either this is pen or pen like something. So, this is a possible construct available option, and then manas would select okay fine this is pen, and then the stimuli is passed to the buddhi. Once that selection is passed to the intellect, my buddhi, my limited knowledge power would identify okay this is pen, and my limited knowledge power would relate my ahankar, and then my chitta would be able to identify and keep it as pramiti, the knowledge about the pen. So, here pramiti becomes from savikalpa to nirvikalpa. So, nirvikalpa means without any attribute, the stored knowledge about the pen would be there inside of me. Once somebody says me bring the pen, किसी ने मुझसे कह दिया पेन लेकर आओ, now my intellect, my chitta has the knowledge what is the pen, this is pramiti inside of me. Immediately I would try to recollect that knowledge. So, that nirvikalp knowledge would be converted into savikalp stage, and it would be passed from I-ness to buddhi, then from buddhi to manas, and once manas selects okay like this is some similar which I have the knowledge about the pen inside of me, and in whatever image or knowledge I have inside of me about that pen, this object is looking similar to that. So, let me take this pen and give that pen to the person who is asking me. So, I would pick this pen. How my actions are going to perform the task of picking up this pen and giving it to the other? By passing the processed stimuli from the manas to the actions and then action organs, then the stimuli would be coming to the response portion to the object. So, my hands would pick this object and then give it to the other. This is the response generation. So, process is same which was explained in the Vedanta darshan also. This is similar at the level of delimited or bound individual. Now, we are going to apply the same concept to the highest state of existence or manifestation, that is non-delimited state. अगर यही पूरी प्रक्रिया परम शिव के स्टेज पर हो, चिति के स्टेज पर हो, तो हमें पता चलेगा कि इसी प्रोसेस से पूरी की पूरी मैनिफेस्टेशन होती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू सी द सेम कॉन्सेप्ट. वी आर गोइंग टू टेक एन एग्जाम्पल. सपोज द प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस नीड्स to create or manifest the whole of the cosmos. Now, what is going to happen? This chitti is pure consciousness, power of Param Shiv, and I-ness means limited. I-ness becomes here limited Ichha Shakti, limited Ichha Shakti. So, within the consciousness, within my I-ness, within the I-ness of Param Shiv, once there is a desire to create some kind of thisness, तो मुझे अपने में से ही पूरा ब्रह्मांड प्रकट करना है. अब उस ब्रह्मांड का स्ट्रक्चर क्या होगा? I am desiring, I am willing to create a kind of cosmos. So, there is a desire to create some limited substance within the non-limited I-ness. So, non-limited willpower becomes delimited willpower and generates a limited cosmos. This is the first stage. After this, limited knowledge power would identify the possibilities, which kind of structure, all the possibilities of the content. That means knowledge about the content. अच्छा कॉस्मोस बनाना है, कैसा बनाना है, वो कैसा होगा, उसमें क्या क्या होगा, क्या क्या चीज़ें उसमें रखी जाएंगी, कौन सा कलर होगा, कौन सा शेप होगा, कौन सा डिज़ाइन होगा. ईच एंड एवरी काइंड ऑफ नॉलेज अबाउट द कंटेंट इज अवेलेबल, इज गोइंग टू बी अवेलेबल. सो व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन, द unbound, unlimited, limitless I-ness, limitless Paramashiv is going to generate limited knowledge within oneself to create or to manifest a limited entity, limited manifestation. After that, मनस इज नथिंग बट लिमिटेड क्रिया शक्ति. तो एक लिमिटेड चीज़ को बनाने के लिए लिमिटेड क्रिया शक्ति ही चाहिए. अगर आप एक लिमिटेड चीज़ में अनलिमिटेड पावर ऑफ पोटेंशियल और एक्शन पावर इंट्रोड्यूस कर देंगे तो आप कभी बना ही नहीं पाएंगे उसको. सो फॉर क्रिएटिंग अ लिमिटेड एंटाइटी, फर्स्ट यू डिज़ायर फॉर इट within yourself. Within my I-ness there is a thisness, and within that thisness, first of all you need to desire for thisness, then you need to have the knowledge about thisness, then you need to put up the actions for creating that or manifesting that thisness. This is the first three processes, first three stages. And in that process, after once you have selected, once our limited action potential has started functioning, then your sense that you would evolve the limited passages through which the energy can rush out to create or to manifest those entities, and it would be coming out as a part of your own extension. That is the extension of the same consciousness, and that is why I said that according to Kashmiri Shaiva, every entity which is available here is nothing but the extension of my own consciousness. That means the consciousness of that is available at the level of Paramashiv. So, non-dual Paramashiv itself becoming limited substances. अणुत्व में परिवर्तित हो गए. वो शिव जो कि बाउंड नहीं थे, लिमिटलेस थे, वो अब किस में बन गए, एक लिमिटेड सबस्टेंस के फॉर्म में मैनिफेस्ट हो चुके हैं. दैट्स वाई ईच एंड एवरी थिंग इज द मैनिफेस्टेड फॉर्म ऑफ द सेम अल्टीमेट कॉन्शियसनेस और परमशिव. So, slowly the manifestation progresses and the object come into the existence, and the same process goes on continuously to first of all to have the knowledge, to identify the object, and second to function within that object. At one side you would create thisness within yourself, at the other side you would also consume that thisness. For example, take yourself or position yourself at the level of pure consciousness. You are a Paramashiv. So, you have created thisness within you first of all, and in the beginning this thisness was a part of your thoughts, Vimarsha Shakti. After some time you brought it into the existence outside, like chair. You have created this chair. So, because of your creative power you have created this chair. This is sufficient. आप खुश होना चाहिए कि आपने बना दिया. No. It's not the stage. After that also you start consuming that object. So, on the second side you would start bringing the chair, oh bring this chair, I would use this chair in my home. You would start consuming that object. So, there are two sides. One side is making the subject to bring the object outside from within, and second side is consuming the object, bringing it again, becoming the part of your own subjective consciousness. And this is something which is appearance, disappearance. This is manifestation, dissolution, and this is continuously happening. Continuously the same process of manifestation, then dissolution, continuously happening at the level of you can say the subtlest possible level of existence. The same process is happening, and at the grossest possible level of thing, that the same process is happening. So, this is something which is described in detail as per the Agama Shastra, and that is why in the previous slide I have highlighted the few of the points. Like first thing, it is important to remember that here Chit is not the intellect, but it is Chiti first of all. चित्त बुद्धि नहीं है, चित्त और बुद्धि में डिफरेंस है यहाँ पर। चित्त क्या है, लिमिटेड चित्त है। सेकंड, चित्त that intelligible energy, this energy is not passive, intelligible or intelligent energy undergoing limitations, rushes through the passages and provides knowledge as per the level of limitation. This knowledge is always partial and relative. So, Pramiti in this system is limited knowledge, and when it becomes non-limited, it is characterized as a realized state. It becomes the empirical knowledge which can't be created or arrived at through the available means of cognitions, which are themselves very limited. Thus, in the system, Pramiti and Smriti are just the indicators for the realization of consciousness, or you can say recognition process. So, here the basic difference between Vedanta and Sankhya is like, though you are having a lot of knowledge, to remember it, to recollect it, but both cannot actually lead you to the level of ultimate consciousness. They just become the indicator to identify that somebody has realized that state of consciousness. किसी ने तो उसे पा लिया है, तभी वो चीज़ स्मृति में है। आपको ऐसी कोई चीज़ कभी याद नहीं आ सकती जिसका कभी आपने साक्षात्कार किया ही ना हो, जिसका कभी आपको नॉलेज मिला ही ना हो। You can recollect only those things which you have experienced sometime, some or the other time, or some at some or the other coordinates of time and space. कभी ना कभी उस चीज़ का साक्षात्कार किया है, उसका अनुभव किया है, उसका नॉलेज लिया है, तभी वो आपकी स्मृति का पार्ट है. So if you are able to touch to the highest level of ultimate consciousness, then only it can become a part of your smriti. So here, if you are able to identify some kind of knowledge, that is pramiti, or you are able to recollect that knowledge, smriti, it means that these are the indicators of which are actually identifying that there is a stage of ultimate consciousness. There is a state where pure consciousness is available and it is accessible. It can be experienced. Few people have this kind of question. कुछ लोगों को मन में ये बात बहुत होती है कि जैसे आप कह रही हैं कि pure consciousness है, that means from the subtlest to the grossest Indian corpus describes the creation, and that's why it starts from the pure consciousness, and they think there is nothing which is pure. ऐसा कभी नहीं था. आप अपने खाने की ही बात ले लीजिए. If you are not having pure form of some kind of food like pulses, अगर दाल शुद्ध नहीं मिल रही तो आपको पता चल जाएगा ना कि इसमें मिक्सर किया गया, मिक्सिंग की गई है, ये अशुद्ध हो गई है, इसमें कुछ मिलाया गया है. मसाले शुद्ध नहीं मिल रहे तो आपको पता चल जाएगा कि ये शुद्ध नहीं है. तो क्यों कॉन्शियसनेस शुद्ध नहीं है, ये ऐसा कैसे आप कह सकते हैं? ये कॉन्स्ट्रक्ट पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. देयर इज अ स्टेट वेयर देयर इज अ प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस, मीन्स विदाउट एनी अल्टरेशन, विदाउट एनी डिफरेंशिएशन, विदाउट एनी ड्युअलिटी, देयर इज दैट एग्जिस्टेंस. और अगर वो एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं होता तो कभी किसी को उसका रिकलेक्शन नहीं होता. बट इन Shastras, we have this kind of these references, we have discussed, we have read a lot of instances where this kind of recollected knowledge is available. Recollection तभी possible है जब कभी उसका experience किया गया हो. That's why this pramiti and smriti are just the indicators of that level of highest level of knowledge or consciousness or experience, but they do not actually equate with the state of highest consciousness. That is only experience. You can only feel that. वहाँ आप शब्द, वहाँ आपके ग्रॉस वैखरी वाक, दैट मीन्स द ग्रॉस लेवल ऑफ वर्ड्स वुड नॉट फंक्शन. वो है ही नहीं, differentiation है ही नहीं वहाँ पर. signified are superposed at each other. So once they both are superposed, there is no duality, there is no two entity. Then how can you actually think like your gross speech can define it? No. जब आप define करने लग जाएंगे तो मतलब नीचे आ गए हैं. ऊपर का लेवल केवल फील कर सकते हैं. दैट्स वाई इन द बिगिनिंग ऑल्सो आई टोल्ड यू दैट वेन एवर यू आर वेरी बैडली हर्ट बाय समवन, कोई आपको बहुत बुरा लग गया है और आपके इमोशंस बहुत ज़्यादा हर्ट हो गए हैं, देन बी involuntary, you can say like it's in our reflexes, automatically it comes out like I cannot explain in the words what I feel, but I just wish that you could feel my pain. यू कुड फील माई पेन, और कभी ना कभी आपको वो एक्सपीरियंस हो जाए जो मैं इस समय एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा हूँ. क्यों? क्योंकि मैं उस चीज़ को बता नहीं सकता. So level of the words is that experience is beyond the level of words. Your words fail to explain that phenomena or that state of existence. That's the highest ultimate knowledge or experience or empirical nature of knowledge. So on this on the basis of this understanding about the cognitive process, we can have few questions. For example, explain the process of cognition as per Kashmir Shavdarshan. Then you have to draw this slide and you can explain it in detail with as per this these 4 or 5 points. Then if you are being asked like compare the cognitive cycle of Vedanta and Kashmir Shavdarshan, then you can write down the few of the differences, because in Vedanta Darshan we were having this concept, but this chit and chitti, they were little bit different. This chit is delimited. So once you are drawing this diagram and explaining with the reference of the chitta, you are talking about the bound individual, and this criteria or this differentiation is available in Kashmir Shavdarshan only. Kashmir Shavdarshan uses this the same concept to explain the manifestation process also with reference of your chitti, and to explain the process of cognition with in the level of bound individual. So see, this diagram is denoting for the bound individual, how the bound individual perceives the cognition, and this diagram explains the manifestation process as per the Kashmir Shavdarshan, how chitti proceeds ahead to create everything, and that is the basic difference between the Vedanta and Kashmir Shavdarshan. In the Vedanta Darshan also, the concept of Antahkarana Chatushta is available, like Chitta, Manas, Buddhi, Ahankar is there, but Chitta is not delimited chitti in Vedanta Darshan, while here Chitta is delimited chitti. These are the two differences between the cognitive cycle, understanding of the cognitive cycle in Vedanta and Kashmir Shavdarshan. Then the first fill in the blank, chitti is the power of Param Shiv or pure consciousness in Kashmir Shavdarshan. Then chit is delimited chitti, as per Kashmir Shavdarshan. Then manas is bimodal because it can receive the stimuli and respond to the stimuli. Buddhi makes decision. Then buddhi is what? And buddhi is limited knowledge power, Jnana Shakti, delimited Jnana Shakti. Pramiti is stored knowledge. So these are the few questions which and there can be more sample questions you can practice by yourself. For this lecture, this is sufficient. Thank you.